Hello everyone, welcome. If this is your first time here, my name is Risa, and I was a freelance makeup artist for more than 20 years before becoming a full-time content creator here on YouTube. And I have a series called I Watch TikTok So You Don't Have To. I scroll through TikTok and Instagram Reels trying to find some of the best makeup tips, tricks, techniques, hacks that I have not shared before on my channel. I realize a lot of my viewers don't have TikTok, they don't want to download TikTok, and with so much content being uploaded on all of these different platforms each day, it is very easy to miss some interesting hacks. So when I came across this video, I immediately wanted to try it. Of course, I had seen eye makeup done with Q-tips before. I worked for professional makeup artist brands like Laura Mercier, Bobbi Brown, Trish McEvoy, and they were all about the brushes. But a lot of my coworkers at other counters like Estee Lauder, Lancome, Clinique, most of the time they would use little sponge tip applicators or Q-tips. But the way she made this look so easy and effortless, I knew I had to try it immediately. Full disclosure, I did try this technique once already, and it didn't go so well. So I did a little tweaking and discovered that it is still a good hack. It is still helpful and something that I think, even though it didn't work that great for me on my mature hooded eyes, there is a way to still make this Q-tip hack work if your lids are indeed more hooded than the models, or your eyelid skin is just not nearly as taut. All right, that's enough talk. Let's get into the demo. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that both she and I did prime our lids with concealer and set with pressed powder. In the viral video, she's using a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette that I don't have, but I do have a similar one. But of course, you can use whatever eyeshadow palette you already have at home. And she begins with the shade in the upper corner, which is the shade that I will typically reach for first when I use this palette. So I'm taking the Q-tip, picking up the color, and she does 3 dots right up about here. 1, 2, 3. So above the fold of my hooded lid. Because the goal is to be able to see the eyeshadow with your eyes open. And as anyone with hooded lids knows, whatever shade we put on the lid only gets seen if our eyes are closed or if we're looking down. So that's why we go slightly above. Now, where I ran into problems was with the blending out because of the fact that I have almost 53-year-old lids. So they're not super firm. Well, they're not firm at all. So the blending, as you can see, I'm trying to do here, is not as easy because it's catching on the skin. I'm trying not to go out of focus. I am left-handed and I have very poor eyesight, so I'm looking in my 10 times magnified mirror, trying to not have my camera go out of focus. So it takes quite a bit of work to blend out for me, because it's sort of skipping. It's just not that easy to blend out when your lids move around. So if your lids are even more, if you have more loose skin than I do, this is going to be nearly impossible. Then she takes a mid-tone shade. I'm going to use this kind of burgundy color right here. And she puts a dot on the outer corner and then a couple of dots right there. And then she does the same thing. Blends in and slightly to the crease. Okay, that's blending out a little bit easier than it did last time. So we'll do the same thing here. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, this side didn't come out so great. So I'm sort of blending it. And we're looking not great. She also puts a couple of dots along the lower lash line and then blends those out. Actually, I didn't even put any dots on this side because I had enough left on the Q-tip to blend out. Now it is much easier to blend out on the lower lash line because you don't have that heavy lid skin going back and forth. She takes a brown eyeliner pencil. You do not have to do this step if you don't want to. She lines the waterline. Don't worry, we're going to fix this. I know it looks awful. And then she does use a brush for this part. She takes a shimmer shade and applies that just right to the lid. Okay, we're gonna stop right here. She just goes ahead and curls her lashes, applies mascara, and voila, you have the do and the don't. Of course, in the comments, some people are saying they like the don't better than the do, so it's gonna be a personal preference. But I'm gonna show you how we fix this disaster and tell you why I think it's still not a bad hack. I think placing the shadow with the Q-tip is actually a really good idea, but instead of using the Q-tip to blend, we are going to use a brush. And this one is great. It's Rephr number 14. It's got a small little brush head. So it is going to help us to blend those shadows very, very easily. Now I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of that first color and deepen it. I know a lot of the times one of the biggest struggles for people with hooded eyes when doing eyeshadow is that they can't get that initial placement right. So doing this, using the Q-tips to place the color first, I think is going to be extremely helpful. Now I'm going to take a bigger fluffy brush and blend out any harsh edges. And then we did place with the Q-tip the darker shadow in the correct area. But again, we need to blend that out a lot better. So now that we know how far it should go and about how high it should go, then we can just tap in and blend. And don't worry about this area right here. We're going to clean it up. This is one of the reasons why I always like to do my eye makeup first. So we're already looking 100 times better. I love this brush for hooded eyes because it just gets right underneath the fold. As you can see, I'm raising my brows up so I can really get into or under that fold. We're also going to smudge out the liner along the lower lash line so that it looks softer. And now I'm going to take my finger for the shimmer because I feel like I have more control when using my finger, and packing that on the lid. Now I'm going to take a pointed Q-tip and clean up the outer corners and any fallout. So now I've got that really crisp line, bringing the eye up and out towards my temples so that the eyes look more lifted. Now, if you want to, you can add some upper liner. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to curl my lashes, apply some mascara, and show you the finished look. Okay, here's the completed look. I did add a little inner corner highlight, a matte ivory underneath the brow, and of course, a subtle lash. What I'd like for you to take away from this video is that not all hacks are as amazing as they sound, but that doesn't mean that the hack is totally useless. In this case, as I've said repeatedly, using the Q-tip as your placement guide can be very helpful to anyone who struggles with where to put that first eyeshadow. How far out do I put that darker shade in order to give some lift and some depth? So I do encourage you to test out this hack for yourself. See if it works for you with Q-tips only. If not, Try following along with my tutorial and see if you can achieve a look like this. I already know there are going to be some viewers who will say, that's way too shimmery for a mature eye. That's way too shimmery for a hooded eye. You do not have to use shimmer. This video was not about the eyeshadow palette or the shades I used specifically. It was about technique and placement. So I want you to use the technique and placement with products, eyeshadows you already own. I do hope you found this video helpful. If you are new to my channel, I do have many hooded eye videos in my hooded eye playlist, including my hooded eye masterclass. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find me over on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. My username is the same on every social media platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.